Well, hello and welcome. And guess what I'm talking about today? Music and controversy. But we're going to expand it to the whole entertainment sector of Ghana. Now, you see, one very important sector in every society is their entertainment. You see, all American movies depict that there's never been a time that America's lost a war. All their movies depict that, anytime they've moved in to bring an American influence, whichever country they visited became paradise. But on the ground, it's not so. But what happens is that the children growing up within that culture believe that, we are superpowers and therefore we follow and buy into the American dream. Songs they sing will depict their country and an undertone to say, you know what, you must die for the stars and stripes. And so you come to Ghana, and then once upon a time, we also had our art industries. Probably the Anansi stories, we had Konimo singing their stories, and we had Efrimamu singing that deep, deep, deep patriotic songs. But times have moved on and people are dynamic, entertainment is dynamic. But instead of going on the same trajectory as we are, we seem to have moved. The Nigerians sing a song that we think, well, they sold more albums than us, then we start singing like Nigerians. The Americans sing something and we think, the Americans were nicer. We stop singing like Ghanaians and start singing like Americans. And so we go on and on and on. And then here we are today with Bisakede singing. And in his song is a swear word. Swear word is indeed in English, somewhat broken, somewhat coded. But then they're saying that, look, because of the swear word, your song is not good enough to stand up for any competition. I'm going to have a chat with two thespians when it comes to the entertainment industry in this country. Even though they are young, I still call them thespians. They live and breathe entertainment. And then we need to see how the fraternity thinks and why is it that we are where we are today. And we hear all the time that other countries are doing better than us. What is it that they're doing that we're not doing? Why do we copy so much? Folks, my name is Anansi Akwal the Fourth, and I'm talking entertainment. Don't move. Well, thank you very much for staying, and we are looking at music and controversy, and we'll look at the entertainment industry as a whole and its effect on Ghana and basically every society and how they use the entertainment industry to, shape the minds of the young ones in it so they grow up and fall in love with their country. But before, I want to say a big, big congratulations to Akwemumine Secondary School. Today, a new board was inaugurated to revolutionize how the school is managed. So on the behalf of Mr. Felix Esahiano, who's the chairman of the board, we say, congratulations to you all and hard work. And we look forward to better times ahead. But right here in the studio, brightening my setup is Dela himself and Miss G herself. Now, these guys are thespians. They live and breathe entertainment. Whatever an entertainment artist is doing, they concern themselves with it. And so we are here to talk entertainment because it's a very important subject. Miss G, let me start with you. We'll start small and then we go big. Okay. But we're looking at Bisakede's song. And this song has been played over and over and over and over with an F word in it. And then suddenly, the fraternity is saying that no, because of the F word, it doesn't qualify. Have we got the insert for that? Okay, let's get the insert and then we'll continue. It's watershed time, is it? 9 o'clock, it's watershed. So cover the kids' ears if they are sitting by the telly. Now let's hear this song.
Highly spiritual.
Okay, so not this track. So we'll get that one and then we'll play and we'll come back. I'll get Miss G to comment on it anyway. I mean, so I think it's a case of, is it fair or is it not fair?
Well, it's not fair to a certain extent, you know. It's not fair to a certain extent because, like you said, the song was released somewhere last year, gained a lot of airplay, we've enjoyed it, and all of a sudden we are being told that, you know, because of the F word, which some people can even argue that is not the F word, is an everyday word for people who understand tree. We say that a lot. I don't know if I'm permitted to say that because sometimes we say, "Menyaji fucking," my main fucking. And so it's something that has come to stay with a lot of people. Oh, today, my breath fucking. And so is that an F word? And I'm confused.
The context in which it is used?
It is used because if you say, "Menyaji fucking," it's like, I'm extremely happy or excessively happy. And so I do not agree with people who say that this song has an F word because it doesn't sound anything like the F word. Of course, maybe it was taken from the F word that we know, but in the context in which it was used, I do not agree. It's not fair.
Didi?
I think it's a big deal. It's a big deal because the use of that word, imagine the kids who listen to the song and decide to also sing along and also use the word and probably think it's an everyday word they also use without probably knowing the full meaning or what it actually stands for. We don't consume music only locally. We have international people who also listen to the music. If you go to YouTube right now, the song has over 1 million hits, views alone on YouTube. And we have foreigners also watching. They may not understand the key, but the F word alone probably will stand out for them and they will pick it from there. What my problem is, outside the country, when musicians release songs, they release two versions. There's the radio edit version, and there's the one for the matured audience, where there's a parental advisory and all that on the song, therefore. So on radio, they play the radio edit version. But if you go and buy it and you want to listen to it on your own, you can buy the matured version and you listen to it. That's what Bisakede should have done. Should have done two versions of the song. You get it? Radio edit version, there's the other version.
Okay, that's Broad Day, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now the song is ready for me, but after the song, then I want to come back to Dela to say that, I mean, should we have enjoyed the song and just when he's going to get an award, suddenly we get all our moral high grounds working? But after the song, then I will answer that. Let's listen to it.
Hey, to be honest with you, when I saw that article, I was disappointed because when the song came out, nobody came out to write anything or say anything to me. I'm the type of person that I listen to people a lot.
I mean, that's a good track, isn't it? I mean, Didi, but my question was, I mean, we've danced to it, made parties, and you know, done everything to it. Now that he's going to get an award, suddenly we are all, you know, Pope John Paul's deciding, no.
You know, the music awards, because of the interest in it, always when it gets that time, there's a lot of controversy. It generates a lot of controversy. People are really interested in it, and now people get critical. And you know that it's more or less like a competition where people are now fighting for honest. So therefore, people start punching holes at places where clearly in the past or some months ago, nobody really bothered to really look at. This will not be the first time. In 2004, thereabouts, Samini's Lender, people enjoyed the song for like God knows how long. But when it got to the music awards, it became a big deal, and the song was not nominated. About 4 years ago, R2B's Ajay, we enjoyed the song. Everybody danced to it, but when it got to the awards time, it became an issue, and they dropped the song. So it happens. It's normal.
So why is it that if artists don't start doing, you know, two songs, one with the F word deleted and then the other one, obviously we probably won't even listen to the deleted version, but so that when it comes to an award, you know, they're not kicked out.
I think that with this particular song, some people have gone ahead to edit it because they felt that, or they feel that it wasn't too good for them. I know some radio stations who took the F word, like we are saying, out. And there's some radio station who let it go because, like I said earlier, it has become part of, it's a slang that people have become very used to. And because it's not spelled in the same way and pronounced the same way as the F word we know, people just let it go. So for me, we take clean songs and we take songs that we perceive not to be clean and edit it to suit us. I remember a case, for instance, is Tonga. Tonga itself was not the problem. It was the lyrics of Tonga. And I had a conversation with Marco Krikumanti, who happens to be on the board, and he said they had to call Joey B to come explain to them what that song meant. And he said he had 2 versions, and he had the radio edit. I think in Bisakade's case, he doesn't see anything wrong with that word. And if you had his explanation, he said it's an everyday word. And so he had people he had been speaking to, people who had listened to the song, and they felt it was okay. And so I think it's just like Della is saying, that when it's time for the awards, people begin to pick on things, you know, to make it more exciting, which is going to make it and which is not making it. Why shouldn't this make it? And I think that is basically it.
Della, hasn't he won the award already by, I mean, come on, I mean, even PM Express is dedicating an hour a day. I mean, he's won the award already?
No, he's not. You see, I've had a couple of chats with some people with the organized in terms of the music awards, and this is the principle. You can record a song, and you can have profane words in it and all that, but it's about what you present to the board. Yeah. You can decide to play the profane version or whatever version on radio and all that, but when I present a clean version, that is what you're going to get a nomination for. That's the interesting bit. So if Bisa decides to submit a song without the F word in it, it will be nominated. Yeah. If it is still there, then the board will decide on whether we should nominate it or we shouldn't nominate it. So it's not a done deal for him yet. It's about the board and what they will say. And
it's that simple. So he could just decide to mute that part of the song.
But it's too late now. If he has presented the original, it's too late now because the nominees will be revealed probably in a week or two's time.
No, but he won't sell many songs if he mutes it, because if he doesn't, we'll argue and talk, and people will go back to buy it on, you know, Apple or wherever, iTunes, and make his money.
No, the song is a good song.
It is a good song.
Without the F word, it is a good song.
Without the F, I still don't agree that it's an F word, because, like I said, and his argument still remains that it's an everyday thing. We say it all the time that, oh, this is a fucking whatever, but it is not spelled the same way. It is a tree slang. Anybody that grew up in, you know, a tree speaking area will know that if you say fucking, it's not like you're using a word that is not acceptable. It's become a slang that has come to stay. And Bisakade over the years.
Is he a slang, or is he a word we are using inappropriately?
Inappropriately. That's the issue, because you can't go on radio right now and go and use that word on radio, no matter what happens.
But it's been played on radio. We played the song several times.
Let me apologize to viewers that, you know, the F word will be coming in and out because of the nature. So if there are kids watching, you know, parental guidance.
But we played it several times on radio without even editing that part of it, because we didn't find anything wrong with it. How come now we are finding things wrong with it? Come to think of it, there are lots of songs that go on radio, and you ask yourself.
I personally find it uncomfortable when somebody uses it, even in that context.
Yes.
Even in the song.
Whether in a song or a taxi driver says, look, my bread effing, you know, there's a second.
Really? It's because, I think, and because, Nana, it's because of what you were thinking when you heard that word. But for them, they don't think about it that way. That's why I'm saying that to a certain community, it has become an acceptable word. It's a slang for them. And that is why people say this song is a palm wine tapper song. It's for people who are, you know, relaxed under a tree and listening to, and that's how come he can afford to put that word in there. And like I was saying, there are lots of songs that we've heard over the years. We haven't even scrutinized. What is fucking? Sorry, but we've heard people describe explicit words in song, and we sing them every day. They're able to defend why they even use. You see somebody sing about one lady, talk about everything that isn't supposed to be said on radio. We play them every day. And so I think that it's totally unfair.
You think we're being hypocritical?
Very, very. In this case, we are. It's very, very unfair for anybody to say that Bisakade's song, just because he said fucking, that he can actually mute, that you can actually say, okay, that's just a warning. Let's issue that. Nobody. And come to think of it, Nana, who decides what is good and what is not good? Otherwise, a lot of the things we hear every day shouldn't actually be played on radio.
0560 800 000. 0560 800 000. Join in. Let's see what you think. Maybe you think let it pass. Maybe you think no, let's be hard, so that in the future, maybe next year, come next year, you know, everybody who's playing a song will think, no, this song is really good, and if I don't drop this word, I won't get my award.
I think our industry, where we are growing and what what we consume day in and day out, it's about time we all sat down and say, look, you know what, let's have structure it well so that we know what is going to go on air. And if you don't adhere to that, there's punishments for that. I believe strongly that these days on radio stations, if you listen to the songs they play, you ask yourself what's going on. Some songs are not meant to be, they are not meant for the radio. Just for you, your private room or somewhere, or in your ears, but they play it on radio. And this, I'm happy this is coming up because it's setting up the tone for us to discuss and understand that, look, if you're recording a song and you want to record for a certain target audience, because Ghana, we don't have structures in place to control who is listening and who is not listening. This, I can't remember this Kwame Jokoto incident when it happened about the FDA banning him and all that. When you go to the schools to ask the kids, they watch him a lot, and they will mention the adverts he does.
Oh, alcoholic beverages.
You get it. It means that there's no control. And that is a big deal, and that is really serious. The Deputy Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Kumashi, recently was not happy, complaining about the way some people, nudity and the way people dress and all that, and calling for stiff measures to control that, and that there should be stiffer punishment for such people and all that. Misdemeanor, why, sir? We heard that if he goes to court, probably he could get only 120 Ghana cedis as punishment, and probably the judge, and that's the judge's discretion, actually. He could just walk out, pay 120 Ghana, is done, after what he did on stage. Which should not be allowed anywhere in the world.
That's how I think we are being hypocritical if we want to handle these cicadas in this way. Talking about that, I just remembered a song, and pardon me, Kabla, if you're doing the listening. His latest, Echimuda. Nana, you should take your time to listen to that song. There's a part I hear, even though I love it, I'm like, this should really be played on radio. What's that? But is it better than fucking? Which we have come to accept as a term that we use every day.
I really need to apologize to my viewers today.
We are sorry.
It's quite explicit today. So
you know,
if you have children under 18, you get them to the library to go and read.
You know the Ache song, for example, that was not nominated. That was about 4 years ago. Just because of Sarkodie's line, I heard and I heard was one of the main reasons why that song was not nominated. So it's about the lyrics, what goes in the lyrics.
Now, you see, in my intro, I was saying that, are we copying too much? Because if you looked at, the Konimos and where our music came from, I know we cannot probably use the same instrument or stay at the same time, but that's our trajectory. Are we stepping aside because maybe Snoop Dogg sings profane and think, well, if I want to be hip, let me add a bit more profane into ours. Is that what's happening to us, or?
I think we're just not coding it well, because if you cast your mind back, DL is an old-time musician. He had Abin Waha. We had issues with it. Pardon me for my tree, but we had issues with that. The man was able to defend and say, banana is not fried, it's not whatever. We went. I think it's the coding of the things that we say these days. We are not able to get the right words to use for them. Because if somebody says, me, they are doing fin, you ask, what else would you think of when you hear that? But if it was an older folk, he would have said that in a very, very coded way, that it would take, the young child will not know, it would take another elderly person who is discerning and knows that language to be able to tell you.
Classic song, Moses.
Exactly. A.B. Crensel's Moses.
If you're a child, there's no way you understand what he's saying. But if you're a mature, an adult, you clearly know what he's talking about.
So you think we're losing the coding, we're losing the polishing of the language?
We do like that. And we have a generation now that says, and they say with no regrets, that sex sells. And so anything that is explicit will definitely get your attention, will get my attention. So why not go for that and sell?
Is it because maybe we are not regulating it well, therefore everybody's there?
That is the key issue here.
Because if it's not available, you can buy it.
But these days, they are free online. You just go and download it, you're done.
But if you know that there's a regulatory body that says that don't do this, and when you do it, it will be banned, why would I go waste my time recording a song that I know that will be banned? Look, lots of the songs we hear these days, you don't even get the moral of the song. You don't get the message you're preaching. Waisa, for instance, Ekikimi, what's that? Electricity, vibrator, all the things. You want to find the message in the song, and you don't see it. But it's making hits. That's a hit song.
Because of the words.
Because of the words. So then it comes back again that sex sells.
How important is it to sell our culture through music? How have we gone past that, and now look, music is universal, so anything goes?
We've not gone past that, and some musicians are doing that.
I think Mr. Kede is doing good high life, isn't
he? Yeah, he's doing, and I'm really proud of him, because we live in an era where we have more of hip life, rap music dominating and dancehall. And for a young artist to decide to do high life and still excel in it, it's a big deal. And we have to encourage a lot more people to do that because high life is ours. It is one unique music that when you listen to, you know where it's coming from. Unlike hip life, when you listen to hip life, because of the hip hop influence, you say it's coming from the West, only that we decide to use our local. But high life is unique, it's ours. And I'm excited. And I'm really happy that he's doing it. You have to encourage a lot more people. But you see, if we don't put the right structures in place, young people will come and still do their high life and still use the same words and they still go out there. And they still go out there. So it's about the structures.
That to some extent I agree, and I think that Ghanaians have a lot to do. First of all, it's not just because our language doesn't travel far. That is not true because we have Angelique Kidjo who sings in something else we don't probably understand.
And I love her songs.
And we love her songs.
Whatever it is she's singing about.
Exactly. If you watch the terrain of Nigerian musicians, most of them,
That
you can
anyway,
count...
That's a good song.
It's a good song, yes.
You don't know what it means, but you just love
I
it.
love it.
But I'm sure it's nothing explicit. If you watch the lyrics that Nigerians use most of the time, I can count the number of people that you hear such explicit words coming from, and you begin to wonder why their music travel that far, why we even love their music, why we can play convenient, even when we don't understand some of the pidgin that is used, or even the local language.
They sing cleaner than we do?
They do.
They do.
They do, very much cleaner than we do. And because we sing most of the time in our local language, especially Twi, we get to play with the words. And thinking that we are playing with the words, it is that obvious what we are talking about. Because if you say, like example again, maybe it is obvious what you're saying. There's no way you can play around that for any adult to think that you're lying. And gradually, your child will begin to ask their parents, what does this mean? What does this mean?
Or sing along to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
They sing along to it. Sometimes they will sing along without even
knowing the meaning.
What it means. So it still boils down to the structures.
Now let's move to, after they've gone all about the live performances of all these acts seem to be a bit of a downer. Didi, why? I mean, you listen to the song and you think, wow, this is a good song. But then you see them perform, it's like, woo.
Because people don't invest in what they do. People don't see the stagecraft as a part of the business. People think you come and perform, let me just take the mic and just sing along to my song and just go. Elsewhere, people invest a lot into it. They spend months, weeks, prepare for one stage work. I'm coming to perform for like 5 minutes or even 10 minutes. Some people, they spend months. They go rehearsal, they plan, there's a coordinator, there's a director. All those people are involved. And they have the proper structures too in terms of the venue and all that. The sound is on point, the light is on point and all that. But here, we take things for granted. We believe that if I pay to come and watch a show, what you decide to give me is what I should consume. But they don't know that the person is paying for quality. Quality is the song itself, the performance and everything that comes with it. They're paying for an experience. But we don't get to give that. So people just take that for granted. They just come, do it, whatever they like, and they go. Even in Ghana, shows don't even start early to begin with. Because they don't, yes, if they value you, the person who spend your money to buy the ticket to come, if they value you, they will start on time. If they value you, they make sure you get that experience. You get your money's worth before you leave the venue. They don't do that. I've attended shows outside the country and all that, except Nigeria. Ghana is worse. All other countries, they start on time. Everything is on point. The sound is on point and all that. But Nigeria and Ghana, oh my God.
And I agree with that. I think in Ghana, one thing I've observed is that we love the show. We don't mind about the business. The thing for us is a show. So we're not concerned about the business. Like you said, people are not ready to invest. For an artist who wants to charge you about 10,000, you bargain to 2,000. He doesn't see you as serious. He doesn't see the reason he should attend rehearsals. He doesn't see why he should come to check sound and all that. He's coming to give you the worth of 2,000 because he isn't worth that amount, but that's what you want to give him. I think most of them, they do a lot of barter. And so it's like, you don't take me serious, I don't take you serious either. So let's go do and give the people anything. Again, the people who come to the shows is almost like, okay, you've come, you've paid, this is what I have for you, take it. Next time, they will come. And so we're being taken for granted because they know we'll go. If it gets to a point where people start their shows late and they advertise, people don't go because I know that you will start late, I know that I won't get the better sound I want, nobody would not take the business aspects of the show seriously.
You see, could it be that, you know, we've come from a generation where, I mean, you dare not walk to your father and say, look, I want to be a musician. Are you serious? Paying your school fees? What do you want to do? I tell me you want to be a musician. You know, so it's been some sort of an underground thing where you really need to be a rebel and then break away from the family. And if you're lucky and you become big, you become accepted. If not, you are, you know, ostracized forever. Could it be what you know is affecting the business side of it?
No, I think we've grown past that stage. This, what you're saying is probably like 10, 20 years ago. But now, football. Imagine you walk into your father and say, I want to play football. They'll be like, seriously, am I paying your school fees for you to go and play football? But now football is a big deal. Music to the same thing, boxing and the rest. These days, people now make money from music. And so therefore, if you're making money from it, you have to invest into the craft itself. Someone like Samini. Samini is a good performer. He plays with live band. Therefore, he understands the music. Most of these musicians, they don't understand music. They just go, they think they can rap. So therefore, you go to the studio, you just go and rap and you're done. No, you have to understand even the key and all that. So musicians, they don't care. They think they can rap and that's it. So if you know, you call yourself a musician or you call yourself a rapper, an entertainer or an actor, you have to invest into the craft, understand the rudiments of the job, what goes into it, learn. If you have to go to school to go and learn. And the Nigerians, funny enough, the Nigerians are doing that a lot. Banky W and the rest, they go to the New York, they are musicians, but they go to the New York Film School to go and learn that side of the business too. So now they add that to their CV and they are doing a lot more. But here, how many people do that? Some people come on screen for one, two, three, they start producing movies.
I must say, even though I'm a Lumba fan, I think Kojo Ntwi is very good with live performance.
He's really good, yes.
You know.
Really good.
And lots of these young ones are not learning, they are not learning how to perform live on stage. The miming is the aim thing for them. Right. It's that easy. Performing live has to do with a lot of sound check. You need to be sure of the band. You have to rehearse over and over. You don't want to go through that stress. I've heard lots of the older musicians complain that the younger ones are not ready to learn. They don't want to do live band. Miming is the thing for them. But how long can you sustain a crowd miming? Because if I want to hear someone mime, I could as well buy a CD, play in my car, and enjoy you miming, you know, for me. And I've heard people say that most of these musicians do not know how to play even an instrument. And for them, it's a big deal. If you want to be a musician, you need to learn at least to play an instrument. Yes. It's okay for them because then you can actually show your prowess with an instrument. Get the people involved. It's part of your stagecraft because not just that you're singing, but I see you play something of the, you know, it's part of the catcher like we say on stage. But a lot of these young ones are not ready for that. I know how to rap and that's it. And that's it. So.
Also, this comedy sketch, and they say, you know, back in the days when they could sing, you had like the OJs, and you had like 8 performers, and they all come to the mic, shoot, do, they do the mic, and they all come. It says nowadays, you know, everybody's got a mic, and they're shouting, telling the crowd, jump. The guy says, no, I'm not going to jump. I've paid the ticket. Yeah. You jump. You do the jumping. I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll move into the film industry, see what's happening there. Stay tuned. So it's 0560-800-000, and your messages are coming in. So let me catch up with some of the messages for you. This one says, I totally disagree with anyone who says Bisa's Brother song shouldn't be nominated. That word is commonly used by us all. This is Eric Asante. The next one says, I support Miss G. There's nothing wrong with Bisakede's song, Harry in Takrade. And then I come here. This one says, Nanansa, please, those involved haven't been fair to Bisakede at all. The guy used it in a different context, and to be frank, it's even very difficult to notice he's actually meant the F word there. Like Miss G is saying, this word is being used hilariously everywhere. I just can't stop shaking my head. Typical Charterhouse from Kojo Asare, Udumasi Krobo. Let me go to the next one. It says, I think that they are not being fair to this guy, Bisakede. To me, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that Brother song from DJ Frank in Boko. Messages are coming in. I'll try and get as many as I can for you. So say, hello, Nana. I'm Barrister Daniels of ATL FM in Cape Coast. I wish I can call in or be called to have my submission on the issue. This one says, Nana, please, for Christ's sake, F-U-C-K-I-N-G and F-O-R-K-I-N-G aren't the same. It has different pronunciations, different spellings, and different meanings. I totally agree with Miss G. This is CJ in Bantama. So basically, the Ghana one is more like, forking, as in using a cutlery, fork, rather than anything else. Please, I'm not clear with Bisakede's word in his song that you are talking about. Can you explain further what's wrong with it? Dela will explain what's wrong with it. I second Miss G. I think we are being hypocrites here. We want something to tackle. Let's tackle the kind of adverts that are aired, especially those with sexual prowess. Bisa's song has no profanity. Thank you. This is Kweku Ananse Manson. And I'll be catching up with your messages, so bring it. And it's 0560 800 000. Let me just see which one came in just now. And it says, Nana, I think there's nothing wrong with the word, the F word, because it's a common word we normally use. So I don't see anything wrong with that. From Pepra Sylvester inside Garo. Well, look, before we move on to the music industry, let's look at Wiser. Wiser is also saying that he doesn't think his act would damage his career or hinder, his future prospects. Ms. G, would it be damaged? Should it be damaged? Should we punish him to deter others from doing that? What should happen?
If you talk about punishment, I think we punish Wiser enough. The back and forth in court, the backlashes he got, people, talking about him here and there, and people trying to disassociate themselves from him. I think it's enough punishment for him to have even come out to say he's sorry, put together an apology song. I think it's enough punishment for Wiser. If you ask me, I know people wouldn't be happy that I had to say this.
So we have to welcome him back to the fraternity. He's changed? He says he's changed. He says
he's changed. He says he's asked for, our sympathy, and also said to us that he's sorry. And so I think that it's just right that it's just like your little brother do something wrong to you, and then you try to spank him a bit, and then when they're remorseful, you still accept them as your brother. So I think that we have punished Wiser enough. He's still in court. We don't know the outcome. The trauma alone he might be going through, and it has gone through, all because of just one act he did. I'm sure it's enough punishment for him. As to whether this will damage his career, I'm still waiting to see, because after the incident, a lot of people who didn't know the Ekikimi song went looking for it. A lot of people who didn't know he had a remix with Sarkodie went looking for it. So I think a lot has been rather expected from him, that let's see what next he has to do or he would bring to it, because a lot of people have predicted that that song even wasn't a good song enough, and so we don't expect anything good from him. So I'm waiting for the surprise from Wiser.
Did he? Compassionate enough? I mean, we are Christians, isn't it?
The question is he really sorry?
Well, he says
he
so.
Said so.
Yeah, in one vein he says he's sorry. The next minute they go to court, then his lawyer says, you know what? He did not show his manhood, or he did not put his manhood on stage. And I was, what? Is it? Yes. That doesn't mean he's sorry.
But he never came back to say he wasn't sorry.
No.
These are legal issues.
Yes, in one way. No, if you're sorry, admit and say, this is my wrong. This is what I've done.
Whatever he should it be a toy? Should it be the exact thing? He's still sorry. It wasn't appropriate anyway.
No. If you're sorry, admit your fault, then you move on from there. The case is still in court. And the last hearing, the state was supposed to provide some evidence. The investigator was not in court, therefore the case has been adjourned. I believe strongly that for this country, especially in the entertainment industry, we take a lot of things for granted. And whilst I believe that, yes, we should forgive him. I want this to go the full mile. Let's get to the end of it. So as you said, the precedent for the industry and for a lot more people. Because just as we said, people don't invest a lot into their stagecraft. They take things for granted. They believe they can go on stage and just do whatever they like. And clearly, from what happened on stage, I believe strongly, and I know that the event organizers were not aware that he was aware of his act, what he was going to do on stage. Probably they thought he was supposed to just come and sing and go. But the person goes ahead to do that. The deputy minister said she was there. The deputy tourism culture, she was there. She was disappointed.
A lot of
great
great personalities
really
were there.
Were there and they were disappointed. You get it. It tells you that.
But you think we haven't punished him enough?
Well, the case is still in court.
So I mean, he's still being punished.
Yeah.
I mean, should he be welcome into the fraternity?
Well, if he admits that he's wrong, and as I said, he's sorry, but the case is still in court, we can forgive him. But it's about what he's going to do after this. You've released one hit song, yes. We're waiting for the next one. We don't want another.
Ikiki.
No, not Ikiki, another ahead, you know, like.
Okay.
And you get it. We don't want that one hit song and that's it.
One hit wonder.
Wonder and that's the end of it. We want a lot more good music from you. But this, I believe, should set a precedent for the industry. People should learn from it. Let's go the full mile. Just like Parker's incident like this. He went back and forth. He was in court and all that. At least it was a wake-up call. People thought I could just go and do my thing and I get away with it because I'm a celebrity or I'm known. But you know, we are all equal before the law. And therefore, I was happy that, yes, because he's my friend, but I was happy that the case went to court. It went behind bars. It's still in court. Is it free? No, I don't think it's a free man still. But you get it. It is good for the industry.
Is that an example?
Yes, for a lot more people. That you just don't get up and do whatever you like and get away with it. So, yes, let's go to the front. Now, just like I said, we heard if he goes and he's found guilty, the judge could just say he should pay 120 Ghana.
Now this time, the case has changed because he's now said that he actually didn't expose what we thought he exposed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That if he's found guilty,
even till now.
Yeah, if he said he did not show what he said he showed on stage, so therefore it's still in court. So if the state is able to provide this evidence and he's found guilty, he'll end up probably paying 120. He may not go behind bars. Maybe he'll go for a month or two, and that's it. Then some people are saying that that is not a stiff punishment. That is not enough for people who do that, because you can't just go and pull your manhood on stage in front of people who have paid money to come and enjoy a good show. Then you decide to take them for granted. They just show your stuff, dangling on stage.
I find the ladies were more upset about the size rather than the act.
That's another interesting bit, because when Jordan,
you know, I don't want to mention one of our colleagues was very upset because of the size and not necessarily.
When Jordan Ayew was playing the ball and the player, and even on South African websites, we had the images here and the ladies were praising him. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. But as for his image in a whole, you see, for example, Filipino boxer Manny Pacquiao, I heard he made some comments about gays and all that. And all of a sudden, he just lost 2 million followers on Twitter. And I heard Nike they've cancelled the deal with him also, and all that. Elsewhere, it's a big deal. These petty things, small things, it's a big deal. It goes a long way to affect you as a person, your career, your endorsement, and all that. Unfortunately for our artists and our celebrities and intimate personalities, they don't really have a lot of endorsement.
Because of time, let's move on to the acting guild. And I'm not a big fan of Ghanaian movies. Not a big fan. Even though recently I've seen that, you know, there are some ones coming in which I think, yes, they've taken their time to do it. And once you do that, then I respect you for that. I don't want that, you know, Nokia 3310 movies, you know, I won't watch it. If you want me to watch it, you know, at least respect me. Yes. But, you know, I saw once, let me start from the top, and you know, they were, I think it was Yvonne Nelson, and she was smoking. You know, like just, you know, acting, and she was smoking. And I was like, really? You know, why would she accept a role like that? Considering the number of young people who would want to, you know, be like her or follow her, they don't know her in real life. They think she is the person. I don't know. Was it wrong? Was it right?
It still boils down to, yes, if it fits the role and it adds something to the story, it's cool. But it's about who's going to consume it at the long run. How are we controlling and checking that? We have bodies and authorities that look at the movies, then they get to rate it before it comes out. But unfortunately, they do that, but it doesn't really work in the country. We have TV stations just showing all kind of movies and films left, right, center without probably following the ratings. So yeah, she can smoke in it. Maybe there could be some love making scenes and all that. If it adds, because I remember Shirley saying that love scenes, they must be tastefully done. It means you should add something to the story. But some people just do it because they want to sell. If you add something to the story, the question is, what are the channels? How is it going to be consumed in the long run? That's why elsewhere they have ratings. You can put parental control on your TVs, your decoders and all that to make sure that the kids just don't get to watch.
Let me take a break. When I come back, I'm coming to Ms. G to find out if indeed our Ghanaian movies are telling our story. I mean, is that what happens in Ghana? Can you watch a movie and think, that's what my family is like? Stay tuned, I'm coming. Well, I mean, your message is coming in. Let me read this one. This is good evening. My name is Bernard. Please, what about our gospel music, the way some of them dress? Please tell Miss V that she looks beautiful. This is from Bernard.
Bernard, thank you.
Yeah, I said thank you for it. But Miss V, can you watch a Ghanaian movie?
You know, Bernard got you confused because he's talking about Miss V and I am Miss G. So, you know, all of a sudden, it's Miss V now. I'm sure he was referring to Miss V, not me.
No, it's Miss G. It's you. Maybe she's got the G and the V wrong. But can you watch a Ghanaian movie and say, that's what? Look, have you seen Love Bridge in the African Port? Even if it's not your family, you can identify with that family. I mean, these new movies, is that how we really are? I don't know. No,
it's not. It's not how we really are. I think that we've copied a lot and a lot of things have gone wrong in our copying. I normally say that even the Kumawood movies are more real. Some of them, not the ones that are adaptation. Most of them are real than English-speaking movies because the glamour, the flamboyance, is not a day-to-day thing. It's just a circle or a particular people in Ghana that live that kind of life. Some of the things are not real, and it's because of where we are copying from. First, we are copying from the Western world. We are copying from the Nigerians. They do that. You see that glamour in their movies all the time. Of course, their movies, if it's not about witchcraft, it's about some glamorous scene and all that. But that's not the situation here in Ghana. I can hardly tell you a movie that is telling our culture, that's telling something that, you know, that's like a legendary movie, telling the story of Kwame Nkrumah, telling the story of Azuma Nelson, telling the story of Yasantua. We've lost all of that. First of all, even the diction, the language sometimes, because we've got Nigerian directors, we've got Nigerian producers, and they influence what we say, how we say, the mannerism, the jargons and all that. So for me, I don't know if it's to say that now, because lots of Ghanaians are taking over, we have Lydia Forson, and Lydia Forson's A Letter to Adam, I think that's the title, is a fantastic, it's the only story so far I can say that I have seen produced by a young folk or a young person that tells a lot more of Ghanaian stuff. The mannerism, you see them speak a bit of Ga in that. The mannerism you can relate with. All the rest of them, I'm sorry, I've not seen all the movies though, but most of them are things that are more Nigerian than Ghanaian. You know, you can actually not watch it and say, okay, this is my family, this is the family next door, this is a story I can relate with. We are just copying blindly.
But you see, I mean, I'm sure there are about 6 Mandela movies where every actor plays Mandela. Not even one Kwame Nkrumah movie.
No.
Not one.
And that's it's unfortunate because, you see, when you invest in such a movie, it will sell. It will sell because not only in Ghana, but people will love to follow Kwame Nkrumah's story. They want to learn. They will love to learn from it. Unfortunately, people don't do that. People want quick money. People want to do things that will cost less because Kwame Nkrumah's movie will cost a lot. Budget. You have to get a huge budget for it, invest into it, go and do research, follow the person's footsteps, how he lived his life and all that, and try to put that on screen. It is not easy. So people will not like to spend a lot more money and time to do that. They rather do the glamour stuff.
Is that where tourism should come in to say, look, if you're going to do it, I'll support you with the budget? Because that's what shapes a nation, oh?
Unfortunately, for a long time, the creative art sector, there was nothing like budgetary support. I think it was in 2012 that we had the first 2 million that went to
the creative art industry.
Music
hijacked
that money because
even JJ's story should be out by now.
Exactly.
We don't have it. That money went to Musica because Musica presented a budget in the ministry, and later on we heard there were going to be other monies. There was a subsequent, the 3 million. From what I gathered from the ministries, that money has never been released. It's still there. They're still waiting for government to finally release that money. That was in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. There's no support. In Nigeria, they're investing a lot in their creative and their movies.
And if you flip to the other side, right? Well, anytime they have to depict something African or something, it's just so gory, witchy, wizzy. You know, it's so unrealistically, negatively black. And as I always say that, you know, until the lions have their own historians, you know, the tales of hunting, you know, always glorify the hunter. And here we are with our platform to tell our own story. And we are even lying to ourselves.
True. Because, and it's because, I'm going back to what he was saying about, you know, movies, legendary movies. They have said that they are not props. I remember that Kofi Ajelulu complained that if they are asked to shoot a Kwame Nkrumah movie now, the props to shoot the movie will be difficult to come by. They need to look for a furniture that was used by Nkrumah. The museum doesn't have it. They need to look for a car that depicts what happened.
Houses.
We don't have it. So it will be very, very difficult for us to have a movie like that that would tell or depict exactly what happened back then. So the issue, apart from budget, it's the props. Where are we getting all those things from? I think that we have a bad archiving system as a country, and that's another problem on its own. So if you even say you want to do even recent J.J. Rowling's movie, I'm sure we're going to get
very difficult to
props, appropriate props to do it. So there are lots of things that come to play. It tells story, but our mentality and our way of life as a country and as a people, because we do not believe in our own. We do not think that anything good can come from here. If you ask them to play maybe a Nelson Mandela movie here in Ghana, you will see how the South Africans will bring us things that we need for that movie. But let's turn cast the die the other way and ask that Ghanaians should bring something about Nkrumah. We won't even have details to share with the people.
And I think another unfortunate thing about us as Ghanaians, and probably it's a general thing as in Africa, especially in West Africa, is that we don't write books. Because most of these foreign movies about the history and all that, they also refer to books largely, because the people, they've taken their time to write books and stories during that time about these people. So use us first as a reference point before you go in to look at other stuff. We don't have that. Over several years, we don't have a proper documentation of our history, the Akan history, the Evers, the guns. We don't have that. There's a white who wrote those stories for us. How can
whether they are true.
True. That's another thing. So if you develop that culture to start documenting most of our key history and occurrences, then that would be the first step to probably trying to do these movies. Because right now, if you want to do a Kwame Nkrumah movie, you just have to go and make reference to the little information that you have. Maybe there are deeper stuffs or deeper informations and deeper things that happen that probably nobody knew about. But if you put in a movie, it will be a hit. We don't have that. Instead, they'll rush and just go and get some $100,000.
But is the Actors Guild, the fraternity, are they worried about it or look? Because I have not seen or heard too much complaint about the fact that, listen, you are the custodians, or you are sort of the marketers of our culture.
Of all the bodies we have, it is only music that's a bit active. The rest, they are not.
Because I was also going to ask whether the Actors Guild is a guild that exists.
They don't exist.
It exists on paper. We've spoken to the Actors Guild back and forth. And it will amaze you to know that even after their president died last October, they are yet to have a new president. Actually, they are waiting for a vice president
to arrive in the country before
they have a by-election. Since October.
You know, Musica is organized. Musica is organized. That's why they get all the things. That's why they managed to get a 2 million from.
And it's because they have a young leader who is vibrant. And sorry, but the younger folks who are acting now are saying, step down, give us the mandate, and we will do a better way. Because we are even running the game now. If you look at the productions we get back and forth these days, it looks like the younger ones are rather the ones creating the job. That's why Juliet Ibrahim can confidently say that we, the young crops of movie producers, are the ones selling Ghana out there, and we are making Ghana a tourism site through our movies. She can say that confidently because they are the ones producing. If you ask me the last time, even Gamma Film is not even existing anymore.
No.
So which are the production houses we have here?
We don't.
This one says, Nana, please, the less you talk about Ghanaian movies, the better. The movies they show don't talk about the Ghanaian culture at all. I think I better watch my Hollywood movies because our industry is coping but cannot do it right. It's copying, but cannot do it right. Let them stay original, and people like us will start appreciating and watch it. This is Boating from Yendi. Thanks for watching. But look, Heritage Africa. You know, you can watch it 20 times.
Even just recently, the good old days.
The good old days.
Yes, was still a very
The
good
love of
one.
AA and the rest. They were all good.
Yeah.
But you see, did he get the needed support?
That's another thing.
That's another thing.
That's another thing.
Because he started, I thought he was trying to serialize it and release, but he got to a point he had to stop midway.
And you know, the man is growing old. He's done his bit. What about the ones after him? And so let's say if he decides to say, I'm not hang his boot, who would take after Kwanzaa? Would we just be having the glamorous movie we see every day? Who would even write our scripts for us these days? Because people are buying scripts because they don't want to give credit to say you write a script for me because I buy from you and I'll take the script as my own. And so because I'm the writer, that's what is
Even
happening.
in music, it's happening in music. You see, elsewhere people you can sing, therefore you have to allow some people to write songs for you. Then you just go and sing.
What does it take away from you?
Because I bought it from you, so I deserve the right to own the script and say scripts written by, put my name there.
And even instances,
Yes.
and instances where you've paid the person still wants to go out there and let everybody know that, look, I wrote the song for you and make a big deal out of it.
No, but
You get it?
maybe I'm being a bit naive, but if you wrote the script for me, why don't I say, oh no, this song was written to me by, I mean, what does it take from me? I don't know.
I've paid you off. That's what happened.
No, but you still have to pay me. If I write
Yes.
a song for you, but why won't you give me credit?
So
I
long
wrote
as,
it.
so long as I've paid you off.
So
that's
if
it.
I give it to you for free, then you give me credit?
Exactly.
Oh.
And then
Our
you don't
industry-
get to have anything.
Our industry sometimes is funny.
Is that a normal protocol, though?
It is not, because if you look at sorry if I didn't get the name, Half a Yellow Sun, Chidi Amande, which is a Nigerian writer, that book, it was a novel. It was adopted by I think a British producer.
To produce it.
They gave her all the credits, even though I'm sure they might have paid her
No, they will pay her.
for having that, but
They
they
will
still
pay
gave
her
her the
the
credit.
credits
They
and
wrote
all.
on the movie that is an adaptation from that novel, and she's Nigerian.
I think once a month I need to get, Dela and Miss G here so we talk entertainment, considering the number of messages that have come in. Thank you so much for sending your messages in. A couple of announcements before we go. Now, on Thursdays, that's my opinion, and our topic is All Nations Before God and When God Wept. Beautiful story. You can't miss it. Between 2 and 3 on Joy FM, Joy 99.7 FM, so tune in. Again, let me remind all well-wishers and loved ones, including Dela, and on the 26th of March, all roads lead to Adumasa. Our own Seth Kwame Boateng is going to be installed as a chief of chief at Adumasa. It's going to be the Ambako Mahene. Awodanswa finally gets to meet the Republic officially. It's 5 years that I was on the throne, launching a beautiful school. It's an amazing festival, very colorful, full of culture. You don't want to miss it. 26th of March, all roads to Adumasa. But to my lovely Miss G and my brilliant Dela, I say thank you very much. You brought a fresh air to the show, and I think people were fed up with all the politics. They just wanted to entertain themselves. Tomorrow we're back to do this all over